Everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and thank you all very much for joining us today. I'm Michele Sumilas, and I lead the agency's Bureau for Planning, Learning, and Resource Management. You might ask why I am here today doing this panel. I also happen to be the agency's co-champion for youth engagement. So very excited to be with all of you and to meet and to work today with our esteemed Digital Youth Council members at the second biannual Protecting Children and Youth from Digital Harm Symposium. For those who don't know, the council started in 2021, and it identifies and works with young leaders around the world working on issues related to digital platforms and digital harm. And we all know that these technologies are dramatically impacting the way that children, youth, and young people all over the world play, learn, work, interact, communicate, and access information and services. But unfortunately, we also know that there is an increased exposure and risk to children and youth for harm online and offline. I have two sons, ages 19 and 21, and I have myself had many conversations with them over the years about their activities online, what's safe and what's not. And as a parent and as a just citizen of the world, this can be very scary. But really, no one understands this reality better than the young people themselves. And so the council serves as a way for them to talk to each other, to raise issues with us on how digital harm can happen in their countries. And it really helps us guide implementation of our digital strategy. So our 2022-2023 cohort of Digital Youth Council members includes people, young change makers from Brazil, from Colombia, Gambia, Georgia, India, Indonesia, Libya, Uganda, Ukraine, Tunisia, Trinidad, and Vietnam. And there are 12 members that are selected each year. They meet on a regular basis, and they help us think about how we can strengthen the next generation of digital change makers and advocates. The council works two things. One is to reduce digital harm for children and youth, and two is to gain a better understanding of how children and youth interact within the system. We really find this as really very much a part of our locally led development agenda, where we work with those who are most impacted, those who can make the biggest difference in their own communities to move our work forward. I just also want to say the council is also part of our Global Leadership and Education Advancing Development, or Global LEAD initiative that supports 1 million young change makers around the world. So I am really excited to be here for this session. We have 4 great council members. We have Bruna, Vitória, Ferreira, Fernandes, Luke Wong, Rachida Rhdioui, and Nicholas Kamazani. And so let me just start by asking our panelists to go around and introduce themselves and hear from them about their involvement with the Youth Council. We have a series of questions here, and I look forward to the conversation. So Bruna, would you like to start on the introducing yourselves and talk about yourself and why you work on this council?
Yes, of course. My name is Bruna Vitória. I am the Digital Youth Council member representing Brazil. I'm 18 years old and I am an IT technician. So I've been studying for the last 3 years about digital safety, and especially digital safety related to children and youth, especially because Brazil is a country where we don't have as much supervision as other countries with a more digital literacy rate. So most of the times we see a lot of youth who will use internet without having someone to watch them and know what they are doing and guide them. So I kind of work with this kind of youth. So us as youth can also conscientize to show those who don't know, to guide them to use internet safely.
Thank you so much. Lucas, can you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your interest?
Hello everyone, my name is Luke Wang, and you can call me Lucas, is my English name. I'm 22 years old, and currently I am a student at Vietnam National University, the University of Languages and International Study. Even I am majoring in English language education. However, I have a very passion, or like my fancies on community service, especially cybersecurity. So that is one of the reasons why I involved in digital consults, and it's nice to meet you all here.
Thank you, Luke. Rachida.
Absolutely. Morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Rachida connecting from Tunisia, and I'm a human rights activist and a digital young advocate. And I'm pretty excited to share about my journey into becoming an advocate and assisting youth and women in becoming active citizens digitally. As a digital young advocate, I've been training and facilitating activities, formal and informal, with youth on digital literacy, and especially those who have either experienced or have seen one of the digital harm traits in their communities or around or their surroundings, and so myself. And I believe this is one of the strongest reasons that had led me to dig deep into this sphere and participate in the council, collaborating with amazing 12 global digital leaders on a shared mission to reduce digital harm for youth. And overall, I would say this journey has been fulfilling because it provided resilience, it provided knowledge, and it provided confidence to me to keep moving forward and amplify the work on the ground.
Thank you so much. And Nicholas, can you introduce yourself, please?
Thanks very much, Michelle. My name is Nicholas, and I am from Rwanda, Kigali. I was part of the first call of the Digital Youth Council. And so I come from a place where internet is a luxury to some people. And while the nation has made significant strides to improve internet penetration, the still challenges persist. And the risk of deepening disparities is not addressed comprehensively. So it was during my time at the council that I thought of creating digital literacy programs to empower youth in rural Rwanda through digital literacy skills. And so far, we've enrolled over 100 students from grade 9 to 12. And later this year, we are hoping to set up the first dream center where students can come, learn, innovate, and step into their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such impressive people, and I cannot wait to hear more about what you're doing. So I'm going to start with a couple questions directed to specific panelists, and then we'll do some open questions. And the idea, I think, is to share your experiences with others who are at the conference so that they too can become youth change makers in the future. I'm going to start with Bruna. And Bruna, I'm told that you are one of the council's youngest members, but you have already created a startup that empowers Brazilian youth. I wonder if you can tell us about your startup and what you hope will come from it.
Yes, of course. So I was from public schools when I was younger, and when I got to high school, I was accepted into a program who paid for my education, so I had access to things I couldn't have before. And this gave me an overview of a kind of and this kind of gave me a vision of how unprivileged youth have access to things like digital literacy and access to technology. So since then, I have been advocating for teens' rights to access education into technology and science. And now I work with Meninas Competem, which is an organization I founded with the intention of helping girls from public schools in Rio de Janeiro and include them into opportunities related to technology and science. So we help them go into competitions. We teach them digital skills to use internet safely. We work with writing, logical programming, and we kind of get them to know what they are, how to use internet to not only use it as a user, but how to produce something and how to be able to get to opportunities, how to get education opportunities, or how to get a job, how to use it safely and be protected. So it's a project that passes knowledge from young girls to young girls So we have 18, 9 years old medalists, girls who have finished high school or going to college, and they have got something. They are coming from the same background from those younger teenagers, and those girls who are finishing this cycle of opportunities are teaching girls who are entering. So it's a free program for girls. It's more of a social startup.
Thank you. Very, very, very interesting. I think we're now going to go across the globe, and we're going to talk to Luke, who is in Vietnam. And Luke, I understand that you've started a project called the Sealed Lips Project, which focuses on harm to users in cyberspace with a special focus on body shaming. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you are achieving?
Thank you so much for introducing my project. So basically, the Sealed Lips project is focused on cyberbullying, especially body shaming on social media. At the time, it's actually in a competition called CyberS, organized by UN Women and CIDS Vietnam. So I was the one on the top of 17 project that's accepted to the final round of the competition. So at that time, I think like the motivation and the reason why I implement the project is that I am the victim of body shaming before. So I do understand like how painful or how hard for the victim of body shaming on social media they can get over. And so it's turned into like motivation for me to implement the project. And like it's also the first project that I was a CEO or like the founder one. But I mean like with the support of people people around me, especially my people at my university and my own community, I think the project is like go fast than what I expected. And at the end of the project, we attract around more than 80,000 users on social media. So I do think that it's very a good an outstanding resource for me at the first stage of being a activist or like the advocate for cybersecurity. So this is some information about my project.
Thank you very much. Very, very, very interesting. I think all of you are doing really important work. And I understand, Rachida, that you're working on equipping youth and women with skills they need to be active citizens in their home countries. Can you tell us a little bit more about that work?
Absolutely. First of all, kudos to Bruna and Lucas for their work and also for their energy throughout the year membership at the Digital Youth Council. And I wish them all the best in their endeavors. That's already inspiring. And for me, absolutely, that's my mission. My mission is to equip youth and women with skills so they can thrive in their communities locally and globally. And that felt like a moment of obligation because it all started as a first-hand witness of the Arab Spring, which had a really huge impact on me, on my community and my region. And back then, seeing revolution generation, youth and women making change happen during the democratic transition, especially with the strict freedom of expression, physically and even in the digital space, it was a turning point for me to contribute in any way I can. And from the other side, coming from a rural area where having very limited digital knowledge been a very of a challenge for me, for my family, to even access to opportunity, to jobs and everything, had me and pushed me really to work on this mission. Now, how I do this? Multiple ways. And what I enjoy doing the most is building projects and strategies, especially directly with young people and women, and even with organizations that align with my mission. I also enjoy doing research because it's really important to have more data and more information and even more inspiring stories and case studies and initiatives done by youth and adolescents, or even experienced by them in the digital sphere, so we can amplify voices and make sure to create best projects and programs. Overall, I also enjoy training them because I believe we have knowledge to share, especially in a participatory way and in a way that that is informal, so we can ensure the information being understood, and of course moving from theory to action. This is something that I enjoy working on with youth and women, and I'm eager to see them achieving their objectives and also thriving in the physical or in the digital space.
Thank you so much. I think what's really inspiring is all the work that you all do on training and creating a community of your peers who are interested in working and learning from each other. And Nicholas, I understand that you focus on bridging the rural-urban digital divide through training programs in Rwanda. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that the rural-urban divide makes your work easier or harder?
Yeah, thanks. Like I mentioned earlier, I come from a place where internet is really a luxury to some people. And the rapid internet penetration in Rwanda, I believe is the same in different LDCs, really has created disparities in terms of digital technology. And my work has really been about equipping people with skills so that they can also equally participate in the digital world, just like their counterparts in living in rural, in digital, sorry, in urban areas. So I, together with my colleague, came up with an idea of creating a social enterprise called Dream Innovation, where we can equip young people with skills to be able to navigate the digital world. This came in recognition that most governments are actually focusing on equipping people with technology. Just for example, there's been the Connect Rwanda campaign that's been running for a few months, and this has been in a bid to have everyone connected. But then there's also a pressure of citizens trying to acquire the technology, but then we also need to think about how these technologies are going to be used, especially in families where they've never had phones before, and there's just going to be a lot of exposure and global content for children and youth. So it was recently, last year in March, I had a chance to travel for the UN LDC conference, LDC 5 conference, that's the least developed countries, and I took part in the development of the Youth Declaration. It's a document that we developed to help guide world leaders on how to keep young people engaged. And the document was adopted, and we hope to see new partnerships being formed. And I'm hopeful that we are going to expand our network. Just to give you a bit of some statistics, we have about 100 students that have been enrolled in our program, and about 25% of them have completed. And we hope to have a training center, which we call the Dream Center, sometime this year, so we can expand our network and have a lot of people who come learn and innovate at our Dream Center. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I think you all have a lot of similarities across the work you're doing, and I'm excited to really jump into the rest of the conversation. Can you talk a little bit about how you think the symposium is going? Maybe one or two of you could answer this question. What's been valuable? What would you like to see more of going forward? Who would like to take that question first? Rachida, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really important opportunity to highlight how this symposium is really crucial especially with the current landscape, with the AI, the advancing technologies playing a huge role in our lives. I would say that the symposium has a very interesting approach that does perfectly align with the Digital Council mission, fostering positive the dynamics through diversity and interactivity among attendees and panelists. I personally enjoyed many sessions. One of them was on the Asia Research Hour. It was really interesting because it included comparative studies in Asia and elsewhere. For example, in Africa, on what children particularly say, feel, and experience in the digital world, especially for a young researcher who really found difficulties at finding such case studies, and I'm eager to be nurtured on that. I have also enjoyed the Empowering Survivor session through collaborative strategies to transform public policy. It was really interesting exploring case studies, highlighting the impact of survivors' engagement, that they were particularly powerful. And on a final note, I have enjoyed co-delivering a panel on professional development, youth advocacy in the digital sphere with colleague Mansi, who is also a Digital Youth Council member. And I can tell it was really interesting, as we both enjoyed sharing effective tools and steps for mindful and impactful engagement in the digital space. And yeah, we hope to see more adolescents and youth benefiting from the symposium, connecting and making the most of this opportunity for learning and for impact.
Thank you. Would one of the other panelists like to take this question? If not, I can move on to another.
Well, mine is shorter, but being this symposium and meeting those different people, different perspectives and professionals is being great. And I also love the diversity of people and professionals working. And I saw especially people who have those thoughts that think global and work local. So they have local initiatives that are making so much difference, engaging, making policies being implemented. And I love it seeing how much research those participants made and their effort to pass this knowledge to us.
Thank you very much for that. Let me ask a broader question, which is, all of you are very active in your communities thinking about digital access, digital harm. Can you each share with me, based on your personal and professional experiences, what the most pressing online issue is facing youth and children in your country?
So I think I can go for the question first. So basically, I'm living in Vietnam, an Asian culture, and I see a lot of disadvantages, or like not the good thing on social media, online cyberspace. And when it's come to the most pressing online issue facing the children and just in my country, I definitely go for hate speech on social media, because right now people have less space and freedom to raise their voice and they can share anything on social media like TikTok and or Facebook, right? So because of this freedom, so maybe people do harm to other people. So especially for children and youngsters, when they want to express themselves more and they want to have like more influence in their community, so they definitely talk something about the other or something about some kind of like social issues. So it turned out I think like it's good as some kind of point, like people have the way their own voice to raise any kind of like they advocate for the people in the country. However, it can trigger some kind of like disadvantages, like when you talk something not good for others, it can make how could I say detrimental effect on other people. That is a thing I think that's very like urgent and really pressing in my country, should be done or should be addressed very soon if we want to have like a very good space on social media or like cyberspace for everyone to be there. Yeah, that's my answer.
Thank you, Luke. Others?
Here in Brazil, I think it would be the high exposure of children and youth online, since they use internet without supervision. Especially I'm concerned about the strategy that online predators are using here in Brazil to get children and youth. So basically, you can imagine that most of the people targeting kids and teens online are adults like 40 years old or something, but actually often we see young adults like someone who is 23, 24 going for younger 11, 12 years old, and some of them don't even hide their age, since kind of normal to a 12-year-old to talk with someone online. So they will ask your WhatsApp number, they will get into your community, they will present you to their other friends, and when you are close enough to them, they will start or saying some hate speech or talking like something you confess to them, and they will try to get you to make things for them because they got you close, they made a bond with you. And this approach is being very much a concern here in Brazil, because we are not talking a lot about it. And since the online predators are younger than you would usually imagine, you don't have a lot of policies to deal with that. So today the social medias and the online games communities are being a very special like it's been especially dangerous to young preteens, like people who are going to their teen years and children. And that's basically the biggest concern involving technology here in Brazil.
Thank you very much. Rachida or Nicholas, you're up.
Yep, sorry. So I'd say that the rapid internet penetration in Rwanda has led to an influx of global content leading to potential exploitation. For example, this cancel culture has been playing out in online spaces, and children and youth who are active on social media become targets of public shaming and cyberbullying as a result of children and youth experience. And as a result, children and youth experience mental health experience challenges due to negative consequences of cancel culture. And due to the punitive culture of due to the punitive nature of cancel culture, it has led to severe reputational damage for youth, impacting their educational and professional opportunities. So without proper digital literacy education, children and youth face challenges in understanding the nuances of cancel culture. And that's really has been the most pressing online issue in my community at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachida, you're our closing speaker on this question.
All righty, thank you all for sharing. For my region, or specifically to my country, one of the challenges that children and youth are facing is the peril of being targeted by extremist ideologies across various fields, because it puts them at the risk of becoming victims of human trafficking or violence in its diverse forms. We know that the internet serves as a platform for the dissemination of such ideologies, especially social media platform, specifically Facebook for our region, and potentially influencing vulnerable minds. And this exposure does not only jeopardizes their safety, but also contributes to the recruitment individuals for extremist groups or ideologies. And I believe that it's really important to shed the light on this issue because combating it demands a comprehensive strategy encompassing digital literacy, online safety protocols, and community awareness campaign to protect the welfare of young individuals and minimize the potential of being targeted by such groups or by such ideologies, and eventually all challenges are interrelated. And for my country's governments, little capacities to overcome such challenges with the little oversaw and implementation of policies. This might make it a bit difficult, but I'm hopeful that we're able to assist children and youth at being more aware of the content that they consume, and be conscious of what they contribute in or get into in social media.
Thank you very much, Rachida. That was very, very helpful. Let me just turn a little bit to focus on your involvement with the council and what you have seen and what you think USAID can do to help your communities protect children and youth from digital harm. And I'd also like to ask, I know many of you mentioned that you're working with UN Women, and so maybe you can talk a little bit about broadly what other UN agencies can do, what USAID can do, and how we can move this agenda forward. Rachida, you want to start on that, or Luke, you can start on that one. Thank you.
So as you mentioned before, like my project that I think I do have before is like the training from UN Women or others kind of organization. So I think the USAID also like the organization is very how can I say very outstanding, very good resources for any kind of like people like youngsters who want to advocate for the greater protection for our youngsters and the youth from digital harm. So I do think like USAID can do more, and US can contribute like the power on like their knowledge. And so like I know USAID like your mission is like to have for the developing country. So it's from the US, so like we have you all already have like the knowledge. That's a good knowledge for people around the world to can assess about like the technology or like some kind of like knowledge about the protection from the digital harm. So it's very important for the people like me from the developing country. We have a chance to access the knowledge and like some kind of like the skill for like even for my own career path, and also like for the people who want to do more for digital harm. So the second thing I want to mention is that USAID can empower youngsters around the world for the way people can impact for their own country or their own community. Right now I think the term KOLs or KOC on social media, the people who have like small impact but for their own community. So I do think that if USAID like empower many people and many like youngsters have like their own influence for their own community. So I do think that if more people access to knowledge, access to like the knowledge or like the empowering from USAID, so people can how can I say create like the bigger impact on the society or like the community. So this is like my point from like what USAID can do for the protecting children and just from digital harm as in the term of like leadership.
Excellent. Others want to take that question? Bruna.
So I believe USAID could help with having a strong presence online. I think today we have internet access, which makes things much more easier. You don't need to have in-person department working with technology, especially in a country, but you can be present in those spaces. So why you said could be, for example, in those communities, children and youth are getting into, they could have a channel who is more open, so youth can seek help in case they are seeing a digital harm problem they can solve for themselves. And I think it's a little of what Luke said. I think we should have a way to empower organizations and youth who are working towards a better future, towards stunting digital harm in those countries. So I think there are wonderful people doing wonderful work in each space, and those people sometimes just need some help and support from those organizations who have power to implement a broader approach to more states, or sometimes making a local initiative to be better spread. Sometimes they need funds. I think the right approach for now would be really being more present in those digital spaces youth are inserting, getting out of this bubble of just talking between ourselves and being present with those young people and listening to them, listening to what they have to say and what they need, and also sponsoring those organizations who are working local and making a difference.
Thank you. Others? Nicholas, maybe?
Yeah, just to echo on what Bruna just mentioned, I believe that the USAID is one of the pioneers in the field of protecting children and youth from digital harm. And it would be nice to tap into USAID's expertise and possibly create guidance materials to educators, telcos, and social media companies on how to keep children and youth in online spaces safe. Additionally, to also avail funding for youth-led initiatives in the field of protecting children and youth, because they experience these things at firsthand, and they might address it effectively compared to other people in different ages. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachida, any thoughts on your side?
Absolutely. I would like to echo what everyone has mentioned and add that it would be wonderful to see USAID more working on protecting youth from digital harm by fostering multi-generational cooperation and approach. And this involves collaborating with youth from diverse fields, fields that other than being specialized in tech or in cybersecurity and so forth, because each has their own perspectives and added value, and that would be lovely to include everyone more. And engaging with various stakeholders. This can be parents, educators, policymakers, and industry representatives. I see that USAID is doing a great work at connecting these stakeholders together, and I would really love to see more of this. Also encouraging interdisciplinary collaboration involving youth and adolescents in decision-making and establishing cross-sector partnerships has key strategies. And the Digital Youth Council is already a vivid example that I also aspire to see more of it. And finally, it's adorable to encourage also for more implementing training programs, mentorship initiatives, and community-based projects with youth, with adolescents, with local communities that would enhance collaborative and collective efforts, especially sustainable and scalable activities. And thank you.
Well, thank you, Rachida. That was a perfect segue to my question, which is, tell me a little bit about why you have joined the council and what you find valuable about the Digital Youth Council.
So I think I can answer this question first. As I said before, the motivation for me is when I enroll to DYC is like my own experience and the thing I think is very important for everyone to know about the cybersecurity. So when it comes to the question like why would I encourage others to join to the DYC, I wanna go for four reasons. First of all, I wanna mention about the basic knowledge about cybersecurity as generally. So when I involved in DYC, I access to many kind of knowledge, and I think that it's very new for me because even some of them I have never heard before, like cyber literacy. I have never heard of it before, but I did learn from them, and I read a lot of material. So it turned into the very, like, how could I say, like very important input for me, even not only when I working with DYC, but also in the future when I want to develop my career part in kind of terms cybersecurity. So it's very important. And I think like other youngsters, they should have an opportunity like this to know more and to equip themselves with a lot of like knowledge like this. The second thing I want to mention is the technical skill. I learned more about the project management or like project management or like some kind of like skill like storytelling or presentation. Everyone at the end of the digital Kanza, we have like two meeting for like present our project for everyone in the DYC. So at the time I was like develop my skill when I want to tell people about my story and how can I say encourage them and like persuade them like my project is worth to get the funding from them. So I do believe that not only for DYC but also in the future when I'm working for many kind of project, it's very important for me to like express myself and express my storytelling for every people know about my story or my project. Next one I want to mention, it is the opportunities from the DYC. I mentioned here is because like I think that I was given a very good opportunity to connect with many expert and people of DYC. We already have like mentorship with DYC, some expert from the university or working with USAID. So at the time I was connect with Mingo, an expert from the University of Washington DC. So I do think that time I had a chance to learn from him, and I also improve myself in some kind of way when I was direct suggested or like advice from my mentor. So I think that every youngster or the people can get the benefit or like the advice or the suggestion from some people like the mentor like Mingo from mine. And the last one I want to mention, it is networking for sure. It's give me a chance to create more impact on the society because like when we can networking around people with the people from around the world. So I think like this networking can make like the bigger or like the much more higher like impact on the society if we want to raise the people understanding or awareness of cybersecurity. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Others want to talk about the Digital Youth Council and why it's been important to you in your work.
Yes, thank you. So, well, when I was applied to DYC, I was 16, going 17, and now I'm 18. So I was very young, and I am very young. And Digital Youth Council was the first program who accepted me as a 16 years old and put value into my expertise dealing with children and youth and technology. And I can say it was one of the best experiences I had in your organization because they are compromised, serious, compassionate. They really helped us settle. They were very understanding of our difficulties, and they always gave us a support. They gave us development opportunities. We participated in many. They gave us the chance to know many projects and to connect with many people, including some having a mentor. I got a mentor who was from USAID, so I learned a lot about it, and they were always trying to improve themselves as a team. So that's they were always asking us about feedback on how we could be and how they could bring different approaches to us, to how to teach us, to how they could improve themselves. So I not only would, but I am encouraging other teams here in Brazil to apply for Digital Youth Council next year and this year, because I really believe it was like it was the best experience I could have as a Digital Youth Council member. It was the best council I ever participated. It was my first, the one who kind of gave me a start in the world of development and the professional sphere. And I think it's such a valuable experience to be here with you from different places and knowing you can count with the team who are coordinating Digital Youth Council. They will be understanding of your difficulties. They will help you in every way they can. And that's why I believe Digital DIC.
Thank you. I love that the support you all are providing each other. Nicholas.
Yes, thanks. My experience with the Digital Youth Council was unique in a way that I took part in developing some of the tangible deliverables. For example, I and my colleagues, we took part in the development of what will become the first definition of digital harm. And that to me was very exciting to see that the USAID took our ideas and our expertise and gave it a space in its greater ecosystem. Additionally, my project, which I am currently implementing in Rwanda, started with the Digital Youth Council, and that is also something that I would encourage others to join the Digital Youth Council and experience the meaningful change firsthand. Thank you.
Rachida?
Yes, absolutely. Lovely hearing from everyone once again, and I'm really proud of you and of your journey and of the objectives that you have accomplished and the coming steps. So I can assure you from what my colleagues have mentioned that the Digital Youth Council brings confidence, brings resilience, brings more sort of a push between skills, knowledge, and support from the peers to keep moving forward in future projects and activities. And so the case for me, basically prior to joining the Digital Youth Council, I recall a year before having an interesting experience in a summer school on internet governance, and it was an eye-opening experience to dig deeper into the field and found myself wondering too many things that the moment I found the call for application, I felt like this opportunity will give me the space to learn more, to do my work, do my research, to exchange with others, and to have an answer to many questions I have. Beside the fact that I got more confidence and more encouraged by the USAID team and everyone involved in the creation of the council for me to keep moving forward. One of the things that I have enjoyed doing is connecting with everyone, also working with everyone on activities and projects, mainly a couple of the council members in my region, and just earlier this day with Mansi co-leading a session. And another thing, it was beautiful to discover the art of storytelling. And I ended up realizing at some point doing a presentation that I started finding creative ways to do nice presentations. And that's a very tiny little example of the overall experience beside the very interesting projects that I have developed with the team and that I have been receiving mentorship on, and now looking forward to work on it in the future. One final thing is that I strongly invite my network and everyone watching to join the Digital Youth Council. First, because it offers an inclusive platform to connect, share insights, collaborate, and engage with decision makers. Second, because it provides valuable resources, knowledge, skills, and even strategies to grow. And lastly, it gives the opportunity to utilize your skills and knowledge into a shared mission that we all share in the council. And following this experience, we're all eager to start with our new objectives, using what we have learned, and we look forward for a safer digital space. Thank you.
Well, thank you to all of our speakers, Bruna, Luke, Rachida, and Nicholas. I think it's been a really great conversation. I've learned a lot, and am looking forward to seeing what you all do next. I think we've learned that the digital ecosystem provides a lot of opportunity, but also a wide range of harms. But also you all have figured out how to use it in a way to raise awareness, share best practices, and really bring people together. I think also you all are perfect examples of how youth and young people can really help us find solutions to problems. And it's particularly true in digital. And so we are very excited that we have this work with you, that we work with you and not just for you, and that we're able to work together. So I hope this session has been helpful to all of you as you think about the Digital Youth Council. I think everyone on the panel explained how the council has helped them move their work forward in the countries where they are living. And I just want to say, I hope you continue to enjoy the rest of the symposium, and thank you for being with us. So round of applause to all of us for our session today. Thank you very much.